Hi guys, welcome back to Solasta. We're doing the Crown and the Magister campaign. We're still in the beginning, so no big deal. I think we're still in the city, I'm not sure. We're about to exit though. I think I went shopping, got all the supplies, etc. I think I did all that. I've upgraded, leveled up. Yeah.
Burned more than 357,000 acres. That's an area the size of Los Angeles, and it's only 12% contained. Emergency agencies say dry heat and winds have helped it spread rapidly. Evacuation warnings are in effect in 80 community zones affecting thousands of people. It is the 7th largest fire in California's history. Tropical disturbance in the Atlantic is gaining strength, and the National Hurricane Center says there is a chance it becomes a tropical depression later this week. Meteorologist Adam Klotz has details for us. Adam. Hey there, John. Yeah, really the key word here is a chance, because this is not a done deal whatsoever. You can kind of tell when you graph it behind me. Over the next 2 days, you're looking at a 0% chance, right? 40% chance if you look over the next 7 days. There is no reason for this. It's because of some errors here and there that are currently kind of interacting with this system. Makes it a lot harder for these to come together. So what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at a 40% chance over the next 7 days. It won't take this system to lift and then move out over an area where the environment's a little bit more conducive. This is not a forecasted track, and that's what's important to look at here. You're looking at this area drifting out into an area out over Puerto Rico, ultimately over Jamaica, maybe even getting over towards Florida. But it's going to be moving out over this area. This is not, again, a forecast track that would ultimately head this direction. So you're going to be watching it move that way. John, this really is kind of a little bit of a toss of a coin here. This is not a done deal. And we won't really know probably until more like Wednesday of this upcoming week. So this is going to be something we're going to be watching very closely. And again, it's really mid-August into September that the season really takes off. So just kind of keep aware that we're getting closer and closer to that time of year. For sure. Adam Klotz. Thanks, Adam. Well, quite a sight on one sunny beach as dozens of sea turtles are released back into the wild. That's right. Now, first of all, as we begin Arithmetic 5 today, we want to talk about addition.
At Becca Academy, screen time is actually good for your child. Start your free trial and save $100 today.
There are many ways to deliver a shipment. At Old Dominion Freight Lines, we deliver them this way. This way uses technology and goes the extra mile to do things the right way. Delivery promises on time, every time right.
This is our last chance to help save thousands of Holocaust survivors who are suffering in the former Soviet yesterday,
Once more,
and I had it today for breakfast. And this is what she ate in 2 days, one night. Please pray for me.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews began this ministry to help elderly Jews living in horrible poverty around the world. We urgently need your gift of $25 now to help provide one survival food box with all of the foods they critically need for their diet for 1 month.
It breaks my heart to know that there are Holocaust survivors who suffer to this very day. It's not only the painful memories of lost loved ones, but now with pensions of less than $2 per day, they live in some of the worst conditions imaginable.
I believe in God, but I sometimes feel maybe you forgot me. Perhaps you could tell my story, and I would find a matching soul that would understand. I face hunger again.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now to help rush one survival food box to a Holocaust survivor who is suffering in a desperate need.
This is what God wants from us. Just feed the hungry. If you hear God's voice, I'm asking you to act now. Do it when it's on your heart. Pray. You'll know in the final months that now.
You're finally on vacation, but can't help but worry that something isn't right back home. With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in and who stays out, all in one easy-to-use app. So take that well-deserved break. MyQ has you covered.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Sure.
This prints business cards. We also print these and those.
So that's fair
We
left.
print your brand on everything.
We're
So
really
if
fair.
first we notice you, never
Just up
even
ahead.
fall in love with you. It's
It's a little
print
too
it
quiet,
with
don't you
25%
think?
off
We're in the
customers
market.
at
So
visprint.com.
quiet, can't be trusted. True.
In southern Spain,
Let's
the
keep our
Lion
eyes
Beach
open.
Court watched as marine biologists released dozens of young loggerhead sea turtles back into the wild. Their nest was discovered nearly a year ago, and the hatchlings were raised in a nearby aquarium. Some of the newly freed turtles have equipped with GPS trackers. Those will help researchers follow their progress as they acclimate to their new home in the Mediterranean. A skunk's sweet treat turns into a sticky situation. It was early looking for a cool treat, but that went south when its head got stuck in a McMurray cup. This took place in Upland, California, as the police department there was able to find the skunk, and the animal services team came in to rescue and free the little guy unharmed. Could prove that it stinks to litter. McMurrays are hard to resist. Adam, how would you like to be the animal control officer who got the job of freeing that skunk from the McMurray cup? Not a good job. I've been mostly impressed that this skunk found a McDonald's ice cream machine that works. Because I am constantly on the search, and this skunk's going to figure it out. I don't know where they're at. Well, good for them for taking care of the little fella. I hope nobody got sprayed. Obviously, and you need ice cream because it is hot. A good week ahead, so a lot of red on that map. Yeah, thanks, you guys. That's how Fox reports this Sunday, July 28th of 2024. I'm John Scott. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Chambers, along with Nicole Sapphire, Cindy Bruce, and Tom Shalhoub. And welcome to the Big Weekend Show. Big story tonight. 100 days until the election, and there's rewriting history of Kamala Harris happening now.
But we're down here in Florida. It's hot in July, be hot in August, but you're going to see a blizzard of lies over the next few months.
As Biden shuffled across the South Lawn this afternoon, returning from a very difficult hard weekend at Camp David, the rumored running mates of his vice president are laying the praise on thick. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is live at the White House tonight. Lucas.
Well, good evening, Jason. President Biden returned to the White House from Camp David this afternoon. As you just showed, he was accompanied by his sister Valerie and son Hunter. The president ignored my shouted questions, including this one. One of Vice President Harris's potential running mates appeared today on Fox News Sunday.
There has been a lot of mischaracterization. She was not in charge of the border. The Homeland Security Department is in charge of the border. She did do something important. She was assigned to conduct diplomacy with Central American countries, knowing that that's part of the bigger picture of what's affecting them. And you know what? Those Central American countries are among the few countries to see their numbers go down in terms of the sorts of migrants who are seen at the border. The point is, what she did was engage diplomatically and effectively.
Senator Elizabeth Warren, in addition to endorsing President Biden's plan to change the Supreme Court, also endorsed a plan to give illegal aliens citizenship.
We need the tools in order to have more resources at the border, to have more resources in the states and cities that are supporting migrants, and I believe we need to create a pathway to citizenship. All of that is part of what we need to do for comprehensive immigration reform. Kamala Harris will work with Congress and get that done.
It's not clear how much campaigning President Biden will do with the presumptive Democratic nominee. Jason?
Lucas, thank you. While Democrats are touting Harris's record, the truth is in her own words.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented cross-border criminals. I've heard young leaders talking to me about a term they point to common anxiety, fear of the future and the unknown, whether it makes sense for you to think about having children, whether it makes sense for you to think about aspiring to buy a home, what will this climate be? We have confused the idea that to achieve safety, you put cars on the street.
Yeah, right. So will the Democrats synchronize slobbering work? Republicans say, no way.
They have to whitewash Harris's background to be able to make her palpable to the American people. But I think we've all seen her. Kamala Harris is a dangerous liberal. She makes Joe Biden look Upton and by my wrist. And people need to know, not only did she fail in securing our southern border, but she was the deciding vote in the United States Senate. She wanted Medicaid for all, which would have cost our country easily $100 trillion. She wanted the Green New Deal. By the way, she was a tie-breaking vote on that as well. And so what she wants to do is to the left of Joe Biden.
Really is amazing. Even right out of the gates here, Nicole, how they want to rewrite history. They're trying to erase all these radical left San Francisco liberal type of efforts. But she's on video talking about them out loud.
You know, for a party and a media who continue to say they need to reclaim and save democracy, they're doing the most anti-democratic thing possible right now. They have removed their incumbent president because he's not electable, and then going with Kamala Harris.
Get in there.
Back to 2019, again, you have to remember, the voters didn't choose her. She was polling at less than 4% in the primary, which is why she had to drop out in less than a year. And, you know, I disagree with what Pete Buttigieg said to Shannon. He said she's being mischaracterized. Well, it's really hard to mischaracterize someone who doesn't have an ideological identity. I have no idea where she stands on most topics. In 2018, 2019, banning fracking. We're banning fracking. Now we're not. And then it was Medicare for all. Well, maybe okay with some private health care. I don't know where she stands on the issues. And I hear women say, you have to support her. You're a woman. She's a woman. You have to lift up the women. But I'm not going to vote for someone just because of their gender. I don't know where she stands, and that is why she did not do well in 2019. She was not consistent on the issues, and she doesn't have this ideological identity. And no matter how bad she wants to. In her own words, she cannot be unburdened by what has been. It's on tape.
Yeah, exactly. Very well said. Well, I really like what Michael Goodwin at the New York Post said. This is what he wrote. In one sense, the media reset marks a return to normalcy. That's because the bulk of the Washington press corps doesn't see its job as covering the news, but rather covering up the news if it makes a Democrat look bad. Suddenly faced with having to appeal to moderate Dems and independents, she's scrambling to rebrand herself. Look at the list of running mates she's said to be considering. All are white men who are more moderate than she is. The hope is that voters will see the list as evidence of her own moderation. But they are trying to cover up how radical left she is, Tammy.
Yeah, they are. She is the first living Wikipedia page where people go in there and just write in the stuff that they need at the moment and delete the stuff that they don't want. And look, what we do know is that she's part of a team that lied to win in 2020, returned to normalcy. I'm the unifier guy, and look, she's my helper. And that was a lie. And of course, look, she's moderate, like the border is closed, like inflation was transitory, like everything's fine in the Middle East, that nobody died under Joe Biden's watch in the military, everything is just fine. They're pathological in this regard, and it's worked for them before. It worked in 2020, it's worked in the past for the Democrats, and they think now, 100 days, as you noted in the beginning, that they can run through it. It's like running on a hot ground, like a sidewalk, and if you run fast enough, you won't even touch it. Yes. But they're going to be, it's up to the Republicans to make sure that the truth of the matter, that the wiki page is locked, and that nobody else can make any changes.
Well, I think one of the big differences is the social media, and the idea that you can go and actually look at the videos and look and make decisions for yourself. Tom, I want to ask you, though, if she's looking at vice presidential candidates, has to make the decision relatively soon. And some of the people on the list, if you look at the rankings or the polls that have been done on this, Senator Mark Kelly is one of them, Josh Shapiro, Governor Beshear, Governor Cooper, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. But what's interesting to me, Tom, is can't rate. Look at that number at the bottom. Can't rate. Most Americans, they have no clue who these people are or what they stand for.
Yeah, they'll be told what to think of them after they have chosen the running mate. I don't think vice president means anything. We love talking about the vice president. I mean, if you look on social media, anything anyone is talking about is J.D. Vance. They're arguing over whether he's weird or good or bad or was he the right pick. And in the end, none of it really matters. It's like the best supporting actor at the Oscars. It's like, get on with it. Tell me who the best actor is. I don't care about that other category. So I don't think it will matter much. And of course, yeah, people don't know much about them. But she's going to try to use whatever candidate she chooses to be her vice president to moderate her position. The media is going to try to help her do that. It gives her a problem. The base of the Democratic Party really loves this stuff. They love the Green New Deal. They love all these things. So when she tries to back off them, that's going to turn off those base voters, and it's going to turn down some potential voters. So she's going to be careful. Yeah, now she has to actually take a position and stand up for herself. So what's interesting also here is that she has a record of people that used to work for her. And Kamala Harris is ex-spokesperson. Think about this. It's a very tight-knit group, but she may never work for a woman again. Listen to it in her own words.
It was new for me when I heard her because I never worked for a high-profile woman before. I have only ever worked for men. And after there was one day I worked where I was like, man, you might be the last woman I worked for. There's a story there. It's a lot. It's a lot that we got to deal with over here. It was something that I think any candidate, any person in power needs to be aware of what the criticism is. Because when you're not aware, the last thing you want is your candidate, your principal, or the one the vice president of the United States to be out there and someone says something and they're like, oh, what is that about? Oh man, we discussed that this morning at 10 a.m.
Oh boy. She's not the only one. Harris has a 92% turnover rate in her vice presidential office, Nicole. 92% doesn't say a lot about it. And it's a really prestigious job, right? Working for the vice president in the White House.
Now listen, I am not a journalist, but on that show, there was the follow-up question there. When she says this may be the last time that I work for a woman, why? What happened? She's there must be a story there. Let's move on. Like, what is the story? That's why you have these guests on to actually figure out what is going on behind the scenes. Was she difficult to work with? Was she abusive to her staff? What was the issue? And we were left with nothing because
more difficult to work for, and I object to that.
Well, look, she's only been there 3.5 years, and there's only 4 people that are still with her. 92% of them have gone.
I think when Simone left, there were a lot of stories with whistleblowers saying yes, a lot of soul-crushing criticism, lack of vision from the campaign, but through her time in the White House as well. And that's the problem when a woman is difficult, is that it's a presumption that it's all women. No, it's that woman. It is Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. It's not every woman. That's the problem when you've got just a few at the top.
Yeah, I didn't hear this about Condoleezza Rice. Certainly never heard that.
Well, that's it. I mean, she must have been bad if she turned her off of all women. But this is a Democratic woman who says she's never going to work with women again. And when I say that, they call it sex. I would never say that. But I think, yeah, she's obviously got, there's a lot of insiders, but I want to hear the stories. Like Nicole, I mean, but there's people that are unhappy with her, but it's all a whisper campaign. Come on, give me the interview.
That should come out, but the stats, I think, say a lot. All right, I got to turn to this because a Fox News alert, Hezbollah attacks and kills a dozen children.
Today's attack on Israel cannot be forgotten. They would have done this if I were the president.
That was just hours later. So when did the White House weigh in? That's next. Also ahead, a communication breakdown, new shocking details about Trump's assassination attempt, courtesy of Republican Senator Ron Johnson. Plus, dodging and ducking, what role did Chuck Schumer play in Biden's decision to drop out of the race? His answers, when asked directly today, still ahead.
Starting a business is never easy, but starting at 8 months pregnant, that's a different story. With the Chase e-card, we got up and running in no time.
Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back whenever you purchase with the Chase Business Unlimited card. Chase for business.
Sometimes omega-3 fish oil supplements can be difficult to absorb. I recommend Qunol Advanced Omega-3. These phospholipid-bound omegas are up to 10 times better bioavailability. Qunol Advanced Omega-3, the power of 10x.
We're here with Chris Mooneyham from Local Leaf Filter. So Chris, tell us how Leaf Filter is different from every other gutter protection on the market.
The Leaf Filter's patented filter technology, there are no gaps, no openings, no place for debris to get in at all. And we install Leaf Filter on your existing gutters. It's a permanent solution. You'll never have to climb a ladder to clean out your gutters again.
That's amazing, Chris. Tell me about the process.
I think we cleaned it.
Give us a call, set up an appointment. We'll come out and give you a free gutter inspection. If they're sagging, we'll repair them. If they're broken, we'll replace them. If they're in good shape, our local team will install Leaf Filter in the middle of the
Wow, and I understand you guys have a lifetime no flaws guarantee.
We do. It's actually a lifetime transferable no flaws guarantee.
You know, that's peace of mind and that's stuff. So how do people sign up?
To schedule your free inspection, call 833-LEAF FILTER today. Our agents are standing by. Or visit leaffilter.com.
Sometimes German vessels were falling asleep, so he takes ZQL, the world's #1 sleeping brand, and wakes up feeling like himself. Get the rest to be your best with non-habit-forming ZQL. Better days start with ZQL nights.
Every day, more dog people are deciding it's time for a fresh approach to pet food. Develop the best, made from real meat and veggies, portioned for your dog, and delivered right to your door. It's smarter, healthier pet food.
Color gets the keys. Are there more surprises ahead? Kevin McCarthy navigates the road to election day on Life 30 in the Minute. And now, catch every episode the next day on Fox Station. Another sunny day by the water. Friends, take your new drinks. We all know to keep our roads free of impaired drivers. And that means our medicine.
I have a bad feeling about this. There's no one here. Not even corpses. Look! That's right! That's insane.
Courtesy of the Cataclysm. The marches are full of stuff like this. The Badlands are worse.
Anyway, we have a mission. Let's check the fortifications. What do you think? Oh, typical Mankind architecture of the stone cutting textbook. Using this orange stone from the mountain.
That's it. Orange stone.
I won't dignify that question with an answer.
Welcome back to the Big Weekend Show. Right now, Israel is planning a counterattack on Hezbollah. One day after an Iranian-made rocket hit a soccer field in northern Israel, killing at least 12 children. Fox News foreign correspondent Trey Yates went to the attack site in the Golan Heights.
Tammy, the region is now bracing for what the Israeli response will be following that deadly Hezbollah rocket attack on Saturday. Earlier today, we spoke with the family who lost one 11-year-old little girl. The cousin of 11-year-old Alma Fakir Elvi says she clutches her photo. It's all that she has left of the young Drew's child, one of 12 people killed in Saturday's Hezbollah rocket attack. At their family home, Alma's father stands in her bright pink room.
This was her schoolwork.
Eliminate Hezbollah. That's it. That's what I want. Ayman Fakir Abdin says.
What do you remember about her most?
When she was alive, or when I had to collect the pieces of her, he responds. With a population of just 11,000 people, the trauma of this attack affected every resident of Mashkal Shams, a Druze community in the Golan Heights that had a large funeral today for the dead. The grief that Mashkal Shams is experiencing collectively right now is unimaginable. There are 12 young members of their community being buried in the aftermath of this horrific Hezbollah rocket attack. At the scene of the attack, teams are still going inch by inch, searching for any remains of those killed. Between the shrapnel, bikes, and scooters, a crater marks the site of the massacre. The wounded and the dead were children wearing sports gear. This first responder says it's a disaster. Tonight, the Israeli cabinet met to determine the response to this attack. Israeli security officials tell Fox News it is not a question of if Israel responds, but rather when and where. Danny?
Thank you, Trey. Just barbaric. Just extraordinary. Now, it took just hours for former President Trump to condemn the attack.
Parents should have to suffer the terrible loss of a child at the hands of terrorists or anybody else. Today's attack on Israel cannot be forgotten, and it will go down as another moment in history created by a weak and ineffective United States President and Vice President. They would have done this with the President.
Correct. For the White House, the statement didn't come until this afternoon. It reads in part, quote, "We have been in continuous discussions with Israeli and Lebanese counterparts since the horrific attack yesterday in northern Israel that killed a number of children playing soccer. This attack was conducted by Lebanese Hezbollah. It was their rocket and launched from an area they control. It should be universally condemned. As we know, of course, it was an Iranian rocket used by Hezbollah." And from Vice President Harris's team, also this afternoon, she has been briefed and is closely monitoring what her staff calls Hezbollah's horrific attack. She also condemns the attack. All right, well, Jason, where do we start here with all of this?
Disgusting and unnecessary, but a total embarrassment for the United States government to have to take a full day to respond to this. The president, the vice president should have been issuing a statement within the hour. That's what you do if you have an ironclad relationship with Israel, making the world know that you know exactly what's happening, and you're pointing the finger not only at Lebanon, but you're pointing it at the Iranians. And they went out of their way to make sure that they didn't mention Iran, but Iran is the one that's doing this.
Yeah, it was another deflection, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, facts matter, and the truth is, under President Trump, he cut off Iran and used through sanctions through oil. President Biden did what President Trump did and allowed them to regrow, stockpile. Vice President Kamala Harris She panders to the pro-Iran squad as well as to Michigan voters. And because of that, all of a sudden they're giving a green light to Iran. And unless you put Iran back in its place, Israel will never be safe. You'll continue to see these bombings. And unfortunately, more Israelis will continue to die. And it just cannot happen. We have to be strong with Iran. Iran sees us as weak right now. And Harris is getting green light.
You know, and this happened just after Kamala Harris told them not to ceasefire. Right? This was after that meeting. And with her not even being able to issue her own statement by some anonymous staff person.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to talk about the way President Trump, you know, he's not invincible when it comes to politics, but he has great political instincts. And when he talks about stuff like this, you know, you saw him there at the rally. He says it was terrible, it was a tragedy, and it never would have happened if I was president. And he always stresses that. And, you know, it's a great way for him to deal with this politically, and he's going to be doing this for the next few months, because they are the administration in power. He's going to be bringing up Afghanistan, the bungled withdrawal there. And he doesn't like to get bogged down in the weeds and the details of foreign policy. In a very general sense, we have this feeling that there's chaos in the world and that this administration hasn't been able to deal with that. He's going to keep reinforcing that.
And I think the weakness in general of what is signaled to these places that they can just do it. I mean, that and Israel's hands being tied by, you know, the constant arguing.
Well, and all right, also real quick, the danger is not just in Israel and the Middle East. This is coming to the United States. These are not only anti-Israelis, these are anti-Americans as well.
Yes,
they're dangerous. The terrorists are
they're together. They're right now. Laura Ingraham will ask former President Trump about the Hezbollah attack in a wide-ranging interview tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Go on this now. A communication breakdown.
I don't suppose it still works.
Shocking details about Trump's assassination attempt. There'll always be some new shocking details with that one. Courtesy of Republican Senator Ron Johnson.
Why not? I see a truck.
It's treasure time. Well, Con, transfer arms, fire to go. Out the docks, we coming. Go figure, go home. Looking at what we find doesn't tell the story. You see how we find it? It'll be idea to unbox the Duck Family Treasure, streaming now on Fox Station. Sign up at foxstation.com.
When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution one credit company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. My Pillow sandwich, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all new pizza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
My independence is everything to me, but I can no longer hear on the phone. Clear Captions saved me. My Clear Captions phone shows what the caller is saying live as they say it, allowing me to fully understand the conversation and respond immediately.
Your appointment is on Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Thank you, dear. My doctor, bank, pharmacy, my friends and family. There are so many people that I need to be in touch with regularly. And Clear Captions has allowed me to do it independently.
If you've got hearing loss, you may qualify. Call now. Installation, training, and the Clear Captions service are all provided at no cost to you. There is no insurance or Medicare required. Call today. 1-800-916-7705. That's 800-916-7705.
Order your 6, the only fully arranged cheese and charcuterie boards nationwide, so you can send the perfect gift for every occasion. The perfect gift to send for birthdays, the perfect gift to say thank you.
the perfect gift to bring you a party. Featuring chef-selected ingredients from around the world, Bordery boards are handmade, fresh daily, and shipped to your door overnight. With themed boards for every holiday and occasion, Bordery is guaranteed to impress. Whether you're gifting or hosting, send a board to someone you love today at Bordery.com. You're finally on vacation, but can't help but worry that something isn't right back home. With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in, who stays out, all in one easy-to-use app. So take that well-deserved break. MyQ has you covered. When you use Angie for your home project, you know all your jobs will be jobs done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. So the next time you have a project, join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their home. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com. Welcome back to the Big Weekend Show. This week, the acting Secret Service director will testify on Capitol Hill about the assassination attempt on former President Trump. But this weekend, there are still more questions and answers about what exactly happened. Fox News correspondent Jeff Paul is live in Butler, Pennsylvania with what we know now. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, as we await details surrounding this future rally that the former president has promised would happen here in Butler, Pennsylvania, the investigation surrounding this shooting is very much ongoing. In fact, we saw that the previous days, investigators looking at return to the scene of this attempted assassination. We also have this new animation that might help our viewers get a better understanding of what exactly happened that day, especially from the viewpoint of the shooter. You can see to the right, that would be the podium where Trump was speaking from that day. Then on the other side, those would be positions of both counter-sniper teams. You can see the shooter's position is partially obstructed out there in the distance by trees. We're also learning that according to the Washington Post, members of Donald Trump's Secret Service detail and some of his top advisors claim their team wasn't informed of a suspicious person that day that local police were tracking. Senator Ron Johnson told Fox News Sunday, 26 minutes before the first shot, local counter-snipers spotted Thomas Crooks. His photo was then taken and sent to a command center. But members of Trump's Secret Service detail who were with them reportedly were never made aware. On top of that, Pennsylvania SWAT officer Jason Woods just told ABC News his team was supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with Secret Service snipers, but that never happened. He said they had no communication with Secret Service until after the assassination. He said, obviously, it would have been too late by then. Senator Johnson said there was clearly some communication problems that day.
Unfortunately, the federal agencies are doing what they always do. They're hiding behind the excuses of active investigation. So again, we'll see whether acting director Rowe is as forthcoming as he said he was going to be in our briefing on Thursday. We need to talk to these people in transcribed interviews. These things take hours. We'll compare notes to all the other people investigating this, and we should be able to drop the truth.
The Secret Service tonight put out a statement saying, as it relates to communication the day of the rally, they are committed to get a better understanding of what happened before, during, and after the assassination attempt on former President Trump. They said they want to prevent this from ever happening again. Back to you.
Jeff Paul, thank you so much. And Tom, speaking of communications, more from that interview from Senator Ron Johnson this morning with Shannon Green, he talked about how this could have been a huge communication failure. Take a listen.
First of all, at 5:45, the sniper teams, the Secret Service, did receive the photos of Crooks, and they knew he was at the AGR building. So this is 26 minutes before he took his first shot. So we have that confirmed. We also have confirmed that the radios that local law enforcement gave the Secret Service sniper teams were never used by the Secret Service. So again, all the communication was channeled. People were, the sniper and SWAT teams were on different communication channels from the patrol officers, different communication channels from Secret Service, all funneled in through a central communications system, which obviously delayed things and allowed this tragedy to happen.
Tom, how could this happen?
Well, it could happen because they had the B team on this guy. That's something that they're not discussing enough of. I think they gave
We're good.
They gave forget the B team, the C team, the D team to President Trump. There are people in Congress who didn't want him to have protection. They wanted to take away his Secret Service protection. There were people who didn't want him to be able to run. Obviously, there were judges and other people who were trying to get him so he was unable to be put on the ballot. They created an atmosphere in this country where people actually think, there's people, average citizens, who think Trump is dangerous and should be eliminated. They were using that kind of language. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at this at all.
Well, yeah, and Jason, as you saw, the media just continues to lie about what happened. Well, it was shrapnel. Well, it was a bullet. Well, it was just a piece of glass. And you had J.D. Vance talking to Trey Gowdy tonight on Sunday Night in America, and he had this to say about the media lies.
This is not a vengeful guy. The media lies about Donald Trump more than anybody I've ever seen in public life. He's a good grandfather. He's a good father. He likes the American people and loves this country. And this is why he's doing it. As he said repeatedly, his retribution will be the success of the country. You compare that to the Harris administration, which has tried to throw the guy in jail, and I think has led to an escalation in political rhetoric that is unfortunately increasingly leading to violence in our country.
And you can watch the full interview with J.D. Vance tonight on Sunday Night in America at 9 p.m. Eastern. Jason, I want to go back to that. Essentially, J.D. Vance is saying the media will continue to lie. They'll continue to perpetuate, whatever they want the perception of Donald Trump is. That he's going to win by showing you what he can do for America. What he's done.
And that's, he has a record. They try to gaslight you by saying, Donald Trump's going to destroy democracy. Meanwhile, the Democrats are getting rid of their process. It is, democracy. And they come up with all these lies about him and his family and everything else. They start saying things about J.D. Vance that just fundamentally aren't true. It's part of being in the arena. But the national media is a total, complete embarrassment. Really, they have a job and a responsibility, and it's not to erase Kamala Harris's background and misrepresent Donald Trump's background. That's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, it's starting to feel a little bit like 2020 COVID again, because all of a sudden the media is kind of changing the narrative, and also we're seeing censorship. If you actually go on screen grab from Google searches, when you put in assassination attempt of TR ... usually they kind of come up with some prompts. It's not even, President Trump doesn't even come up.
Yeah, we have seen this as one of the few silver linings of COVID and the FBI and the CIA and everybody working with Twitter before Elon Musk took it over. I just have to say, imagine with everything happening if Elon had not bought Twitter and making it to X. The clarity and the importance of being able to say what we want to say. So that's an example of how this effort at censorship is in them, right? It is systemic. It's the nature of what they want to do. And even the problems at the rally, it's a passive aggressiveness that might not even be conscious, but becomes part of a corporate culture where when you do harm by not doing something. And that's what we see. We're going to see more of that. We're going to see more censorship. And American people have learned, because of COVID, what the government's capable of.
Well, Google did say we're working on improvements to ensure our systems are
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
We'll look forward to that. Coming up, sorry for the that's the apologies tonight of the Olympics after draft days long last summer. Plus, Dr. and Schumer is struggling to wipe his fingerprints off the pressure campaign that led to Biden's 2024 ballot.
What do you think they wanted? You seem a very reluctant conversation. I'm having a pretty bad day. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna rest now.
Grit, guts, glory. You've got some winning genes.
or didn't he like that?
Find out what you're made of with Ancestry DNA. And for a limited time, you can see how your genes stack up against world-class athletes. Or even your trash-talking cousin, Brad. See which athletic traits are built into your DNA and the people you share them with. So get on your mind and get set for the sale of the summer.
It's my turn, right?
Before Brad beats you to it.
What do you mean?
What is this? A murder investigation?
Turning your home into a terrible spreadbox, and now you have to deal with it. Hi, I'm Joe. This is why I invented iPhone, the world's first automatic AC drain line cleaning system to keep your AC going and the cool air flowing. Look, that's a drain.
I don't like to be insulted.
And I don't like to be accused of
pay for it all.
whatever.
Here's why. A thick, slimy, sticky bacteria called Zubia lives inside the drain pan and drain line, clogging it up and causing your AC to shut down. But don't worry, that's why I invented iFlow.
iFlow is a smart automated device that discusses how a proven bioenzymatic cleaning fluid can actively brace that azuvia and flushes it out of the drain line to help it to prevent those costly clogs. And the best part is, installing iFlow is a breeze. Just stick it on the air handler, connect the iFlow, insert the cleaning cartridge, and you're good to go. And you don't have to be a pro to do it, because there's an iFlow app to help you do it for special visit buyiFlow.com.
Why are so many people giving Super Beats Archie 5-star reviews? Because they're a simple thing you can tell me. More energy and support healthy blood pressure.
Plant-based healthy blood pressure support is super convenient thanks to the premium ingredients in Super Beats. And now new Super Beats Advanced Archie with a clinically researched dose of CoQ10. Plus our grapeseed extract for nearly 2 times more effective blood pressure support than diet and exercise alone. You can feel the difference.
I love that I'm taking something that's healthy for me and it's maintaining my blood pressure.
From heart health support to the 2-in-1 added power of CoQ10, your choice is simple. Super Beats is the original and only #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended meat brand for heart health support.
Doctors recommend Super Beats, and I swear by it. I know you'll love what it does for you too.
Call or go to trysuperbeats.com and get a free month supply, plus free shipping on all bundles. Use discount code Fox News and get an extra 20%.
Sounds like you're the most experienced here, Robot.
They come in twos.
Yeah, but I'm not in charge, man.
2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone movie subscription streamer and get 2 months of service free. That's
Good
right,
woman.
2 months
Strong,
free.
brave.
All with the
You can
same
trust her with a sword.
reliable,
That's what's
nationwide
comfortable,
coverage as
Michael.
big wireless. Make the switch today. Call, go online, or visit a store near you. That's 2 times the savings and the
Clearly
best
not.
deal of the year.
Look around. Losing a captain is broken.
Did you know how you feel can be affected by the bacteria in your gut? Try new Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. With the delicious apple and blueberry flavored fruits that are yogurt-coated, each bite is infused with added probiotics to help promote a healthy digestive system every day. Plus, they're packaged in individually wrapped pouches for daily digestive support on the go. Look for new Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites online and in the digestive care aisle of your local retailer. Grandma, helping you buy
Yeah,
better.
she's
Put it
a
in
stubborn
the
one. Mutiny's a bad look on the soldier. You could talk to her.
That's right.
Deputy of the council.
That's right. Talking about both.
So if you find a way, you're with us.
Open door. So you're not
I'm with
scratching
myself.
it.
But don't let that stop
I
you.
guess we're moving.
I've never once had to wait for insurance to approve a test or approve a medication. You didn't have to worry about any of those things thanks to
It's a lot to
the
take in.
donations.
They're either crazy or stupid. They're used to us in either case.
If we don't help them. Let them. In front of what?
This place is a death trap. We should get out while we can.
So everyone has an opinion. But what are we going to do? And what about Barry? We've got some
The
pretty
big
worrying
weekend
things
show.
about him.
Sorry if you're offended. That's the apology tonight from the Olympics after the shocking drag queen parody at the opening ceremony. Fox News reporter Dana Marie McNichol has the update
Talk
tonight.
to him and find out the truth.
Tom, reactions are pouring in from politicians to world leaders offended by what they're calling an anti-Christian performance that appears to be a parody of the Last Supper, a universally recognizable painting by Leonardo da Vinci of Christ and his apostles. In response, a major tech sponsor based out of Mississippi, Ceasefire, announced on X they will be pulling advertising from the Olympics. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves supports this move, posting on X that, quote, God will not be mocked.
About this
House
trip
Speaker
to
Mike
the
Johnson also feeling insulted by the performance, saying, quote, last night's mockery of the Last Supper was shocking and insulting to Christian people around the world who watched the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games.
Ask
The
Sean.
war on our
He
faith
has
and
tons of
traditional
things brought
values
back from
knows
us. But
no
maybe this
bounds
time
today.
you took something
But we
special.
know that truth and virtue
It's
will
nothing of
always
value to
prevail.
Sorax. How
President Biden ignored questions about the opening ceremony on the South Lawn earlier today. First Lady Joe Biden, who was at the Olympics, did not address the controversial theme directly, but did call it spectacular. A Paris 2024 official is now apologizing, saying, quote, we believe this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are really sorry. The Trump and Harris campaign has not responded to our
And
request.
find a way to get us out of here. Hey.
Okay, now to this. Chuck Schumer is completely ducking questions about his role in Biden's ouster. For history, for the record,
Did you in any way suggest to the president that he should leave the presidential race on July 13th?
Well, first, let's look at President Biden's record. He's had one of the most amazing presidencies we've had in a decade. I respect the amazing things he's done. We worked together on many of them.
But just for history, though, what was your role, what was your intention with that meeting with him on July 13th?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but President Biden will walk away from the presidency with his head held high.
Nice thanks, right? That's interesting. Political reporter just 4 days before Biden dropped out, that he told Biden it was time to step aside. So obviously, Chuck, he doesn't want to get into the details of it, Tammy, but for this.
Yeah, we saw that play out in front of us as well, and now everyone's doing a different song and dance. I mean, it's partly also a distraction. I don't think they mind doing this. What's interesting to me in part is a new poll from YouGov and the Times of London, as a matter of fact, on the cover of the jet, right? Who knew what brand would have this health? And 68% of people in this poll say it's Kamala, that she is a great deal responsible. Another 17% said someone to blame. So this is something that Americans care about. It's like we were lied to. And she's right at the top of that.
And many others will fall if we don't report to the council.
Obviously, at this point, it seems like they'll put a show on anything as long as they're on the Democratic ticket.
Yes, and, like Mitt Romney famously said, they're going to get about 47% of the country, no matter who the heck they put up there, right? Jason, let's take a look at the state. This is Maryland. It's Governor West Moore.
More will be coming.
Well, I have private conversations with the president, and I'm a big believer that when you care about somebody, you tell them the truth. And I had private conversations where I was telling the president the truth. And Joe Biden is not going to take himself out of this race, nor should he. Yeah, you see the double. I mean, he was saying one thing in public and one thing in private, and now he admits it. He goes on Meet the President.
Let's save